Dear students, earlier we had discussion regarding Coulomb's law. Today we will discuss vector form of Coulomb's law. Vector form of Coulomb's law. Vector form of Coulomb's law we will discuss for two different conditions. First, if product of Q1 and Q2 is greater than 0, and second, if product of Q1 and Q2 is less than 0. First of all, if product of Q1 and Q2 is greater than 0, what does it mean? It means that both the charges are like charges, means either both are positive or both are negative. Second thing, force acting between them is repulsive in nature. If product of Q1 and Q2 is less than 0, what does it mean? It means that both the charges are unlike charges and the force acting between them is attractive in nature. Clear? Now we can discuss vector form of Coulomb's law for any one condition. Either Q1 Q2 is greater than 0 or Q1 Q2 is less than 0. Suppose we want to discuss vector form of Coulomb's law in case if Q1 Q2 is greater than 0, then just assume that the two charges Q1 and Q2 kept at r distance apart. Here, now we know that if product of Q1 and Q2 is greater than 0, it means that both the charges are like charges and the force acting between them is repulsive in nature. So Q1 will exert force on Q2 and Q2 will exert force on Q1. First of all, we have to mention the direction of forces. Force exerted on charge 2 by 1. How the charge Q1 will exert force on 2? We know the force is repulsive, so we can say that this charge Q1 will repel charge Q2. Will repel charge Q2. That means force on charge Q2, the direction of force would be outward. As this force is repulsive, this charge Q1 will exert the force on charge Q2. It will repel the charge Q2. We can write down this force as F21 vector. How we can read it? Force on charge 2 by charge 1. Now, what is the direction of force on charge Q1 due to charge Q2? This charge Q2 will repel charge Q1. Will repel charge Q1. So direction of force on charge 1 due to charge 2 would be outward. And we can mention it as F12 vector. Now, as we know, to express vector, we have to express displacement vector as well as unit vector. So, from charge 1 to 2, the displacement vector is R12 vector and its direction is from 1 to 2. What is the direction of displacement vector? R21 vector means direction from 2 to 1. Its direction would be from charge 2 to 1. We know that the direction of unit vector and displacement vector is same. So what is the direction of unit vector from charge 1 to 2? It is R12 cap and its direction is same as that of the direction of displacement vector. What is the direction of R21 cap? Same as that of the direction of R21 vector. Now we will express these two forces, F12 vector, which is force on charge 1 due to charge 2. What is F21 vector? Force on charge 2 due to charge 1. Agree? And one more thing, we know that the magnitude of force that we have calculated earlier is equal to K Q1 Q2 upon R square. Equation number 1. Now, how we can express force F12 vector? It is force on charge 1 due to charge 2. F12 vector, we know that to express vector we need magnitude as well as unit vector. So here we will write down magnitude of force, but unit vector, remember there are two unit vectors, R12K and R21K. Which one we will use? Because the direction of force F12 vector is towards left. Towards left, the unit vector acting is R21 cap. So here we will write R21 cap. Yeah. Now we'll put magnitude of force F. F12 vector is equals to, we can write down K Q1 Q2 upon magnitude of R square. R21 cap. Equation number 2. But we know magnitude of R or magnitude of R12 vector or magnitude of R21 vector are same. This is the magnitude of displacement vector R12 vector. This is the magnitude of displacement vector R21 vector or R magnitude of R. Things are same. It means we can put R12 magnitude instead of R or R21 vector instead of R. Both we can put here. It becomes F12 vector is equals to K Q1 Q2 upon R21 magnitude square R21 cap. We have expressed one force into the form of vectors. Now, same process we can apply for F21 vector. Force on charge 2 due to charge 1. Yeah. So, F21 vector is equals to magnitude of force, and now the direction of 21 vector is towards right. Which unit vector is acting towards right? It is R12 cap. Here we will put R12 cap. So now we put the magnitude of force, which is same, K Q1 Q2 upon R square. Magnitude of R square we can write down, or R12 cap. Here remember that magnitude of both the displacement vectors and R things are same, because we know direction of vector is different, its magnitude is same. What we can put here, F21 vector is equals to K Q1 Q2 upon, instead of R we can put R12 vector magnitude, R12 vector magnitude square R12 cap. Okay? Now we have expressed both the forces in terms of vectors, but if we want to find out relation between both the forces, this is equation number 3, this is equation number 4. If we want to find out the relation between F12 vector and F21 vector, how we can find out the relation? Remember that these two unit vectors having same magnitude but opposite direction, so we can write down R12 cap is equals to minus of R21 cap. R12 cap is equals to minus of R21 cap. Why? Because the direction of both the vectors are different. So instead of R12 cap, what we can put? Minus of R21 cap. It becomes F21 vector is equals to KQ1 Q2 upon R12. We can write down R21 also because we know it will not change the magnitude. So it becomes R21 vector square R21 cap, and minus we can put here. We have written R12 cap to minus R21 cap because both the unit vectors are having different directions. Now just see these two relations. What we have changed? Instead of R12 magnitude, we have written R21 magnitude because we have written earlier that magnitude of both the displacement vectors are same. Second, what we did? Instead of R12 cap, we have written R21 cap. Now the minus sign we are putting in front. Now this complete value is equal to F12 vector. So finally what we can write? We can write that F21 vector is equals to minus of F12 vector. We are getting additional information, students. We are getting additional information from here that these two forces, the force acting on charge 2 due to charge 1 and force on charge 1 due to charge 2 are having same magnitude but opposite direction. It shows that the Coulomb's law also satisfies Newton's third law of motion. Remember, one more time I will repeat. It shows that Coulomb's law also satisfies Newton's third law of motion. Third law of motion. So what we did? Two things we have completed. First, that if it is written in Q1 Q2 is greater than 0, what does it mean? And how you can express this relation in terms of vectors. Now, if Q1 Q2 is less than 0, what does it mean? Unlike charges and attractive force. So when you will find the vector form of Coulomb's law for this condition, these arrows will fold inward because in that case the force acting between charges would be attractive. Clear? Now we have expressed Coulomb's law in terms of unit vector. Now we will express this Coulomb's law in terms of displacement vector. So now we will express Coulomb's law in terms of displacement vector. So in terms of displacement vector, we have calculated F12 vector is equals to KQ1 Q2 upon R square, or we can write R12 square R21 cap. Either we can write down R12 or R21 because we know magnitude is same. How we can express it in terms of displacement vector, we know r21 displacement vector is equals to k q1 q2 upon r21 magnitude square f12 vector is equals to k q1 q2 upon r21 square, r21 cap 1 2 or 21 we can write in magnitude, doesn't matter. Now r21 displacement vector is equals to r21 magnitude r21 cap. You remember in 11th class it was that vector is the product of magnitude as well as unit vector. So r21 cap is equals to r21 displacement vector divided by r21 magnitude. This is equation number 5 and this is equation number 6. So from 5 and 6, what we can write down? F12 vector is equals to k q1 q2 upon magnitude of r21 square into, instead of r21 cap, what we can write down? r21 vector divided by r21 magnitude. So finally we will get f12 vector is equal to k q1 q2 upon r21 magnitude q r21 displacement vector. Here we have expressed the force in terms of displacement vector. Now similarly, if it is asked you to express force F21 vector in terms of displacement vector, what you will do? You will apply same process. Instead of r12 vector, you will write down r21 vector, r12 magnitude square, and here you will write r12 cap, f21 vector k q1 q2 upon r12 or 21 you can write down because it is magnitude only, square, here r12 cap, r12 displacement vector is equal to r12 displacement vector, r12 cap. Here you can write down r12 cap. It becomes r12 displacement vector and r12 magnitude, and finally it becomes f21 vector is equals to k q1 q2 upon r12 square, magnitude of r12 square, r12 displacement vector and r12 magnitude. So it becomes f21 vector, it becomes 12 magnitude q and r12 displacement vector. Two things we have completed here from this topic. We have completed the vector form of Coulomb's law in terms of unit vector and in terms of displacement vector. Now you have to remember two things. First, the meaning of q1 q2 greater than 0, meaning q1 q2 less than 0. Second thing, you should know vector form of Coulomb's law in terms of unit vector only, not more than that. So this is what about the topic. Now we will discuss the next topic, which is dielectric constant or relative permittivity. Next topic is dielectric constant, or we can say relative permittivity. You can express dielectric constant or relative permittivity through two different signs. Either you can put K or you can write epsilon R. But if you will put K, you will become confused because earlier you have used K for what? Electrostatic force constant in relation K Q1 Q2 upon R square, if you remember. That K and this K both are different. Remember, that was electrostatic force constant and here K is dielectric constant. Dielectric constant and relative permittivity, both the things are same and both can be expressed by K or epsilon R. So, I will not discuss directly the definition. We will see first and then we will discuss definition at last. You will get definition directly. Suppose the two charges are kept in vacuum. Their magnitudes are Q1 and Q2, or air, vacuum or air, things are same, kept at r distance apart. Vacuum. What is the force acting between them? Magnitude of force acting between them? We know F is equals to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 upon R square. Here we can write down force in vacuum. Here, this is equation number 1. Now, if same charges are kept in any other medium, like it may be alcohol or benzene or any other medium, or water, if the same charges are kept at same distance apart in other medium, the force acting between charges is Fm. M means medium. Fv, vacuum. It is equals to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon Q1 Q2 upon R square. Equation number 2. See, epsilon naught is absolute permittivity of vacuum or free space. Things are same. The epsilon is absolute permittivity of medium. Medium means which medium you are keeping these charges, whether it is water or alcohol or any other. So if you divide equation 1 by 2, what you will get? Fv upon Fm is equals to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 upon R square into, as we are dividing, so it becomes reciprocal, 4 pi epsilon Q1 Q2 upon R square. 4 pi epsilon naught R square, and here Q1 Q2 will become cancelled with Q1 Q2, R square will become cancelled with R square, 4 pi will become cancelled with 4 pi. So Fv upon Fm is equals to epsilon upon epsilon naught, and this ratio you can write down K or epsilon R, relative permittivity. Beginning of the topic, I told you that we will discuss the definition at last. So now we will define dielectric constant or relative permittivity. It is, we can say, force acting between two charges in vacuum to the force acting between two charges in medium. when both are kept at same distance apart and having same magnitude in vacuum as well as in medium. Second definition, we can say it is ratio of permittivity of medium to the permittivity of free space. Here, one more time I will repeat. The dielectric constant or relative permittivity is what? It is ratio of force acting between two charges in vacuum to the force acting between two charges in medium when both the charges are having same magnitude and same distance in medium as well as in vacuum. We will find the value of dielectric constant for different mediums. For the vacuum, K is equals to 1. Remember, this K is dielectric constant. The value of K for air is 1.00054 for air. Quite same. The value of K for water is 80. K is, remember, dielectric constant. Certain values, these values gives information about what? We'll see. Suppose we use the value of K 80 water, and if we put this value of K in this relation, what we can write down? Fv upon Fm is equals to K. We can write down K or epsilon r. Things are same. If we put this value 80 here, what information we will get? Fv is equals to Fv upon Fm is equals to 80, or Fv is equals to 80 into Fm. Fm here, the medium is water. Medium is water. So instead of M we can put W, water. What information you can get? You can get this information that if two charges are kept in vacuum having magnitude as well as certain distance and in water, in vacuum the force acting between these two charges is 80 times more as compared to the force acting in water. So see, the dielectric constant gives information about that how many times the force will act in a medium, and you are getting one more information from here that force acting between two charges in vacuum is comparatively more than any other medium, because the value of dielectric constant is always greater than 1. So you may get a question in examination that dielectric constant of a medium is 40. Suppose, what does it mean? It means that the force acting between two charges in vacuum is 40 times more as compared to that medium. One more value you have to remember: dielectric constant of metal, it is infinite. So especially you have to remember certain values. Dielectric constant of metal, it is infinite. Dielectric constant of water, it is 80. Dielectric constant of air, 1.00054 vacuum. This is what about the topic. So finally we'll see what we have completed today. Number 1, Q1, Q2 greater than 0. What does it mean? It means that both the charges are like charges and the force acting between them is repulsive. Second thing, if Q1, Q2 is less than 0, what does it mean? Both the charges are unlike charges and force acting between them is attractive. And vector form of Coulomb's law. Vector form of Coulomb's law means vector form of Coulomb's law in terms of unit vector, in terms of displacement vector. And the last topic we have completed was dielectric constant or relative permittivity. One more time I will repeat that, don't to be confused with this K. This K is either you can say relative permittivity or dielectric constant, but earlier we had a discussion regarding this formula. The K was electrostatic force constant. And finally the definition of dielectric constant, it is force acting between two charges in vacuum to the force acting between two charges in medium, keeping all the conditions same. This is all about today. Thank you so much.